Hello.
Hi there.
Hi there. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Very good and very happy to have you here.
Great. Thank you so much for
Um,
having us.
yeah, we will start in a minute. Actually, you can start your presentation. However, I would like to wish you warm welcome on our online study expo. We would like to know more about John Cabot, but before that, you can present yourself and tell us actually during the presentation as well what is so special about John Cabot.
Mhm.
I already did some introduction and I said that it's American university based in Rome, actually somewhere in Trastevere, very nice neighborhood
Very nice.
in the Eternal City. So I'm sure we will enjoy your presentation and everything that you will say us about John Cabot.
Great. Thank you so much for the introduction. Yes. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Transformative Global Personal presentation with John Cabot University. Just to briefly introduce myself, my name is Jessica Silva. I am the International Admission Counselor for John Cabot University, and I really work with a host of international students looking to apply. If you do have any questions, and if there's any questions I can't get to, there is going to be a QR code at the very last slide of this presentation. So I encourage all students to go ahead and, download that QR code and fill out the form to get some more information about John Cabot University. But just to start, John Cabot University is an American liberal arts institution founded in 1972, and it was named after Giovanni Caboto, and later called John Cabot as he was sailing under the English flag. And John Cabot was an Italian explorer and navigator working in the 15th century and really opened the channels for exploration in America that lasted over 500 years. And so it's really fitting that our name is after John Cabot, connecting both Italy as well as the Americas. Now at JCU, we have over 1,300 students with students coming from over 70 different nationalities. So very diverse in the group of students that are going to be on campus and students that you will be in classes with. All of the language of instruction for courses is going to be English. And we do have a 15:1 student to faculty ratio and also an average class size of 15 students as well. Now, of course, location is going to be a really important part of your time at JCU. We are located in a major European capital, home to embassies, international organizations, multinational companies right in the city center. Also, when taking classes at JCU, being able to go off campus and really put the work that you're learning in the classroom and really able to explore that in a living museum is really quite unique. In Rome, there are over 50 museums, over 900 churches, and over 12 UNESCO sites as well. Now, where we're located, we're right in between the Colosseum and the Vatican as well. So from JCU, you're able to walk 20 minutes to the Colosseum and 25 minutes to the Vatican in the opposite direction. So really quite central in that city. Now, of course, our location is bigger than just, being in Rome, but we are in Italy, which is also centrally located in Europe. For further travel and exploration, we encourage students to go ahead and do any kind of independent travel during the time that they have off. And we really find that this helps students back in their academics in the classrooms as well. And of course, cultural immersion. When you're stepping off of campus and even in campus, you really are going to have the Italian culture, language, and community permeate through those courses. Even though the classes are going to be taught in English, there is still going to be lots of opportunities to engage with the Italian community at large, both on campus as well as off campus. And we really encourage students to go ahead and engage with that community. If you are interested in taking Italian as an area of study, that is going to be an option for you. It is not a requirement to take Italian, but we really encourage students to make sure that they are getting some, working Italian to get around your community a bit better and to really engage and get the most out of your time at JCU. Now, in terms of our particular location in Rome, we are in the Trastevere neighborhood. So here's a map that you can kind of take a look at to reference here. This is going to be the Tiber River that runs through the city center. And we have three main campus buildings. They're all going to be very multi-use buildings. So you're going to find classrooms and faculty offices and club space in all of these buildings. We have the Critelli campus that's right over here to the far right, and that's going to also host our Office of Admission. Right next to it, we are going to have our Tiber campus. This is also going to have our main dining hall for students on campus. And then a bit further away, we are going to have our Guarini campus. And then all these additional dots that you see on here are going to be some of our housing options for students. So this may be a little bit different than a setup that you would see at other institutions where they have a main quad. JCU really is not like that. We're really woven into the community of the Trastevere neighborhood. And so between walking from classes, you may pass a couple of bars, restaurants, cafes, where students can sit, grab a coffee, grab some lunch if they're not having lunch at Tiber campus, cafe. So it's really nice that you can walk from building to building. And if you are walking from Critelli to the very furthest, our Guarini campus, it's only about a 10 to 12 minute walk. So really not far at all as well. Now, in terms of academics, we're going to be highly focused in areas of the humanities and social sciences. So for John Cabot, we do have 14 different majors that we offer to students and 19 different minors. Now, our most popular majors on campus are going to be our business administration, our international business, as well as art history and communication. So if this is an area of interest for you, this is something really good to look into in terms of our different majors that we offer. Or if you are looking to do a double major, you can do so at JCU. Or if you're looking to do a major and potentially a minor, you can do that as well. So in terms of our minors, we do have minors for all of these different majors that we offer, except our international business. But then we also have art and design, creative writing, entrepreneurship, legal studies, mathematics, and philosophy as well for students. Now, outside of your academics on campus, if you are still looking to go abroad, as most students who are at JCU are already coming abroad from a different country, but if you would like to spend another semester or two abroad in a different country at a different university, you can partake in one of our study abroad opportunities with our partnership schools. We do have partnerships with over 30 different institutions around the world. And the great thing about this study abroad opportunity is that you do get to pay the same JCU tuition, and you get to go and study at one of these universities. So it makes it really seamless. You still apply. Typically students are doing this in their sophomore or junior year, where you can either go for a semester or two just to get something a little bit different. Now, in terms of campus life, I think because we are a liberal arts institution, campus life is really going to be a central part of your time at JCU. And it's more than just housing, although of course housing is part of campus life and a really big part of that as well. We have kind of four different housing options for students. We have our Gianicolo residence, our Lungara apartments, and our Trastevere apartments, which really are central with JCU's campus and really quite close. But then we also have our independent apartments available for students. If you're already coming to campus and you know you would like to live off campus, that is an option for students. You're not required to live on campus, but it's really nice to do so, at least during your first year. It gives you an opportunity to learn a little bit more about the Trastevere neighborhood, as well as some of your classmates who are living on campus, and get to know a little bit more about the campus and how to walk from building to building, and making sure that you're not having to add a commute to that as well. Now, for our housing, we do have a few different configurations. They're all going to be quite different, and they're all really hosted in apartment style buildings. And so not every room is going to be the same. Typically, we have doubles, singles, triples available for students, and even up to 8 student apartment configurations. So you could live with a larger group of students and have a common area as well as a kitchenette. So if you like to do some cooking, that's also an option for students as well. And then, of course, if you're living off campus in an apartment, independent apartment, they're also going to have many of the same, you know, great aspects of living on campus, such as a cleaning service that happens once a week, as well as 24-hour security going in and out of those apartments. So even though we're right in the city center, the Trastevere neighborhood is quite safe, but we still want to ensure that students are even safer in their residence hall. So we do have that added measure of security going in and out of your residence hall. Now, in terms of eating on campus and dining hall plans, there's a variety of options that you can choose. As a first-year student, we do encourage you to do more of a full meal plans, just so that it gives you more of an opportunity to get acclimated with your local neighborhood where you get groceries, so you can go to Tiber Cafe and pick up your meals, your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now, Tiber Cafe is really wonderful because you can go in and grab something quick, something kind of from the cold bar where you can grab and go if you're running late to a class, or you can grab a full hot meal as well at the Tiber Cafe. And we also have a full espresso bar, because of course we wouldn't be in Italy if we didn't have a full espresso bar right there. So if you are looking to get to your macchiatos, your cappuccinos, you can do so right there in the Tiber Cafe as well, which is quite nice. Now, in terms of clubs and organizations, it's a really wonderful time to get involved with the local community at JCU, but it also helps you really with time management, building a resume, getting involved, doing something different, something new that maybe you haven't tried. And these are all student-led organizations. So there's quite a few that are active every single semester, and there's lots to choose from. Some of our more popular include the Model United Nations. We also have the Newspaper Club, and as well as student government. Now, outside of classes and student activities with clubs and organizations, we also have cultural programs and trips for students. And this is really wonderful and another way for you to get involved with the local community, both just in Rome and larger Italian community throughout the country. So these trips can range from, you know, a pasta making class, a wine tasting trip, a day hiking trip, a surfing trip, going to a local city for the day. Right now, we're really limiting those to day trips. It's just because of COVID. We want to make sure that we're able to go and come back to campus. But looking forward to the future and hopefully less restrictions, we usually have these trips that can even last through the weekend. So you are able to sign up and go with one of our staff on campus, which is really wonderful because you're going with a much more local perspective than a tourist perspective. And you're also able to go with other classmates. So another opportunity for you to make some good friends during these trips as well. Now, in terms of athletics, we have quite a range that students can choose from. We do have varsity teams, so if you are looking for a more competitive nature in terms of your athletics, you can do that with JCU, and we are competing with other local universities in Rome. And then we also have some intramural sports available for students, so if you are just looking for something more casual but still want to stay active, that's another great option. And then we also have other activities that you can join in classes, such as kickboxing, yoga. We have one of our day trips also includes meditation in a botanical garden. So if you are just looking for something just to stay active and get, you know, acquainted with the community, you can do that as well. Now, in terms of professional opportunities, I think JCU does really well with making sure that students are getting a great education during their undergraduate years, but they're also looking ahead to what they're going to be doing after their time at JCU, whether that's graduate school or if it's going to be going directly into industry. We want to make sure we're having those conversations with students as soon as they get to campus. And so that's going to be really important to kind of talk with our Office of Career Services, get involved, because there's many, many, many opportunities for you to learn more about organizations both located in Italy and internationally as well. We have over 750, over 670 collaborating companies and organizations that we work with. So many of these companies also post jobs specifically for John Cabot students. We have 3 career fairs per year, right now during, trying to get out of COVID, we are doing these fairs virtually, but it still gives you an opportunity to chat with these companies face to face, being able to ask questions about what would make a good candidate for that particular position or that particular company. You can start working towards that as early as your first year at JCU. We also have over 900 internships and job opportunities available for students. So if you want something, chances are you will be able to get a job or an internship opportunity, either in Rome or something that's happening outside of the city in a different country during the summer as well. Here are just a few of the different companies that students have been able to get placements for internship and job opportunities. Our internships are both for credit and not for credit, and pay and not for pay. So there's really quite, just depending on how much flexibility you have. If you want to take, an internship as part of your academic courses for JCU, that's an opportunity. Or if you are looking just for some additional money that you can use to both get some professional experience and maybe use that for day-to-day transactions, you're able to do that as well. Now, in terms of our admission process, like I said, we are a liberal arts institution, so we are going to take a very holistic approach to the application process and to the admission process. First and foremost, we are going to require a completed application. You can apply either through the common application or through our direct application online through our website. We don't have a preference on which application you choose. We just ask that you don't apply to both. If you are already applying to other common application schools, it makes it really easy to add John Cabot as well and send that off to us. We're also going to require official high school transcripts. So a transcript from your first year of high school up until the point that you are applying. And if you are looking to apply a little bit later, it's also great to maybe see some mid-year transcripts as well, just so we can get the most up-to-date information with your academics. And then we are going to require letters of recommendation for our first year students. That is going to be 2 letters of recommendation, a personal statement as well. And this really gives us an opportunity to learn a little bit more about you in your application outside of your academics that we see on your transcript. And your letters of recommendation are also going to help us give a different perspective from your counselors that we also don't see from your personal statement or your academics. After you've submitted a completed application, we are going to contact you regarding an interview, either via Skype or Zoom or in person, just so that we get to know you a little bit more. It's really making sure that you're going to be a good fit for John Cabot's academics, as well as the larger community at whole as well. Now, if you are taking, your high school lessons in English for at least 2 years, you do not have to submit a language proficiency exam. But if not, we are going to be asking for one of those exams, either TOEFL, IELTS, or the Duolingo exam. Now, in terms of financial aid, we have quite a few options for financial aid for students. Once you submit a completed application for admission, you are then going to have to go back to our website and apply for financial aid. So those are going to be 2 separate applications. Now, you can apply for both need-based aid as well as merit-based aid. So merit-based aid is going to be based on your academics. We're going to look at your application as a whole and really determine if we want to offer you some grant money, scholarship money for your academics. And then you can also apply for need-based aid. This is really going to take a look at your family income and determine if we can add some additional aid for students with that as well. We do have a few full ride scholarships. Those are going to be 3 that are awarded each year in the fall for incoming first year students. And then we do have 1 transfer full ride scholarship that we award in the spring as well. Now, in terms of life after John Cabot, like I said, we do all of this preparation both with your academics as well as with the Office of Career Services to make sure that you're well prepared for once you graduate from JCU after 4 years and earning your Bachelor of Arts degree, and the students can go directly into graduate schools, and they're really going to some wonderful institutions such as Cambridge, University, Columbia, King's College in London. And then another portion of our students are going directly into industry, so going directly into the workforce. And so in terms of options, if you are applying to graduate schools, our Office of Career Services can also help you with that as well. If you're looking ahead to that, we do resume building. We also do mock interviews, and this goes for both graduate schools as well as employment. So it's really nice to be able to have both of these resources so you're set once you've graduated from JCU. Now, I do want to touch a little bit about COVID and what that looks like on campus right now. So right now, our campus is open. So we do have social distancing in place. We do require that students have a mask face covering when they're in academic buildings on campus. We also have thermo scanning at each of our entrances. So once you go in, there's going to be quick thermal scanning to check their temperature. And we do require that students are either vaccinated or that they show proof of a negative COVID test every 48 hours. So it's quite often. So we do encourage students to get vaccinated to not have to go through that testing every 48 hours. But other than that, classes are open. There is still a bit of a hybrid model going on where most of your class time is going to be in person, but then you will also have the opportunity to do some segments virtually as well with your professors. So that is a brief introduction of John Cabot University. As I mentioned, there is going to be this QR code. So if you have any additional information, you want to sign up for more information for JCU, that is a great opportunity to do so there. We also have our email, and then I am happy to share my contact information as well.
Thank you so much. And now it's time to answer some questions.
Great.
The first one is quite interesting. I don't have the name of the person, but the question says, what is the difference between JCU and American University of Rome, since both are American colleges?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm not too well versed with the American University in Rome, but with JCU, we might have different academics that we offer for students, maybe different clubs and organizations, different campus communities. So if you are looking at potentially going to Rome and you are interested in going to an American university based there, I think it's really important to do some of that comparative work. So go on to both of the websites, check the academics, check the curriculum description. So if you're interested in, let's say, in studying business, and both institutions offer business, I would say go on, look at what the classes look like, look at what the major requirements are going to be, just so that you can see what's going to be the best fit for you in terms of your academics and also community as well.
Mm-hmm. Because community and all that extracurricular activities are very important for your university, and a very important part of that personal development that you offer beside academic programs and studies themselves. Okay, so what would be the next question, of course, regarding some financial part of the studies? What is the price of the accommodation at the campus?
Yeah, so in terms of the tuition, we're about 9,000 euros for students. And then housing is really going to vary by kind of the location that you're going to be in. Are you going to be on campus? Are you going to be with our independent apartments? And so it's really kind of great, again, to do that comparative work on our website so you can see, if I choose maybe an independent apartment versus a Gianicolo residence, is that going to change my cost of tuition and fees associated as well, including meal plans. So if you are looking to come to JCU, we do give that flexibility where we don't require that students live on campus or have a full meal plan. So you can kind of do that breakdown cost. So it's really nice. And if you have more questions about the pricing and maybe what would be most affordable for you, I would be happy to kind of sit down, and maybe if you can sign up for one of those one-on-one meetings, we can go over kind of the pricing schedule and see kind of what it would look like. And then pricing is going to be different depending on, if student has US citizenship versus if they have kind of can be considered an international student. So we can kind of look at those different pricing points.
But JCU and you personally can give help to prospective students in terms of accommodation, some kind of advice and suggestion, so they can count on that kind of support.
Absolutely, absolutely. And even if you apply and you have, your full financial aid package in front of you and you still have questions, one of the great resources that we have at JCU is that you can schedule a one-on-one meeting with our financial aid office, and they can actually sit down with you and go over your financial aid package just to make sure that you have all your questions answered and you really understand how much you'll be paying at the end of the day for each semester and each academic year at JCU.
Okay, the next question is about requirements for business administration bachelor program. Is SAT test important for this program? Actually, is it required?
Great question. That's a great question. Something that I did not mention. We are test optional at JCU, so you do not have to submit testing right now. We typically require testing, the ACT or SAT, from students who are applying from the United States. It's always optional for students who are applying outside of the United States. But like I said, it's not part of the process. It's not required. You can submit it if you would like, but it's really not going to be specific to a particular major that you're applying to. When you apply to JCU, you're getting admitted to the entire university. So you're not saying, I want to study business administration and I'm applying for that particular major. You apply to the university as a whole and you get admitted to all majors that we offer. Once you get to campus, you're going to get an opportunity to sit down with an academic advisor. And if you, for whatever reason, change your mind, you say, okay, no, maybe I want to study communications with a minor in art history. You'll be able to have that flexibility to change that major up until your sophomore year. At that point, you start running into if you're able to complete your major degree program within the 4 years that we really give students to complete their degree at JCU. So it's really great. All of the requirements listed on our website is going to be for every student, and it's going to admit you to the entire university, and testing is optional.
So anyway, they have the option to change their mind and to switch from one major to another if they are not sure it's the right fit, is the best fit for them.
Correct. So they have that flexibility up until their second year.
Until the second year.
Correct.
Okay, great. And what happens if, for example, which is a question from my experience and as a consultant, what happens if, for example, a student has a low knowledge or actually a low GPA in mathematics and would like to apply for business studies? Is it kind of a problem? Is there any additional test that they should pass in terms of, let's say, confirm their knowledge in mathematics?
That's a good question. It kind of goes back to what I was saying in terms of being admitted to the entire institution. So if you put down business as your area of interest, but have maybe a lower GPA or lower grades in mathematics, we're really not going to link those two and hold you to that in terms of the application. We're not going to review your file as, okay, this student put down, business, and we're going to look at it through a business lens, because we know that students may change their mind. If for whatever reason you just have lower grades or lower GPA through your mathematics or your STEM, in the common application, there is a section where you can include some additional information. I really encourage students to utilize that because, as I said, we're going to take a very holistic approach to the application process. So if you say, okay, I had a little bit of trouble, something happened with family, there was some circumstances outside of my control, or I'm really just working towards improving this, that's a great thing to put into that additional information section so that we know, okay, the student is working on this, and they're able to, really strive to do a little bit better. But we're not going to hold you accountable for that particular major, even if that's the interest that you put down on your application.
Let's discuss further and maybe finish with this question. What are the options for master studies after they graduate from JCU? Because for our students, it's still a bit strange to combine a major and minor and to study according to the liberal arts system and then graduate from other university. Can you explain that process and that the possibilities from bachelor at JCU to the master at other university?
Yeah, so at GC, we actually do have one master's that we offer to students, and that's going to be a master in art history. And so as I was saying with our career services, if you are interested in pursuing a postgraduate degree, you know, at a different institution, kind of depending on wherever you're going to want to make sure that you're looking at those requirements pretty early on. Some institutions, depending on what country, are going to have different requirements for the application process. And if that's where you know you want to go, it's important to take a look at those, whether it's going to require certain testing, whether it's going to require certain classes that you've completed in an undergraduate degree to make sure that you're eligible to go into that master's program. Those are things that are going to be important. Now, of course, all students don't know this right when they're going in as their first year, what they're going to be doing 4 years later and kind of where they want to be applying. But it's good if that you start getting an inkling, like if you are doing communications and you know you want to continue that as an area of study, that you can start looking at, okay, what country do I want to continue my my master's or further postgraduate studies. And then just making sure that the American bachelor's degree is going to be, you know, sufficient for that master's application. So it's really going to quite determine on the classes that you're taking as an undergraduate student, but also looking forward and doing some of that research, you know, beforehand, before those applications come up as well.
And this educational system really supports students in terms of their personal development, all the skills that they will need for master studies and future employment. So I would say that one of the strongest things about JCU is that student life and all the possibilities they have through your student clubs, other activities, excursions, and of course life in Rome, which is amazing, I believe.
Yes, absolutely. And, you know, one of the things we do emphasize is really working on students' soft skills. You know, of course, we want to make sure that you have all of those great, you know, backgrounds in terms of your education and facts and really knowing your information. But the other part is those soft skill development, where you can do that, as I mentioned, through our clubs and organizations, where you're learning to interact with other students and peers, or where you're doing mock interviews, so that when you are going either into interviews for, you know, postgraduate degrees, or you're going into your first job, that you're really well equipped and not feeling like you've never done that before, because those skills and opportunities at JCU are really going to help you prepare for that future position or a future application to a graduate degree program.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for your presentation. And I hope you will enjoy interviews with our students and all those that are interested in getting to know more about your institution, and hope to see you again, maybe another surrounding, maybe here in Belgrade or in Rome, who knows.
Absolutely. Look forward to meeting anyone who's interested. There's still some slots open, so please feel free to sign up. Thanks so much for having me.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Aha. Nakon prezentacije pravimo kratku pauzu i vraćamo se sa prezentacijom koju ću ja održati, a tiče se akademske i profesionalne orijentacije. Veoma važno pitanje za sve vas koji niste još uvijek sigurni koja je to idealna oblast studija, bilo da se radi o upisu na osnovne studije ili ukoliko želite da upišete master. Biće reči zaista o tome kako izgleda naša metoda, kako to radimo u Vi akademici, a bit će i to prilika da postavite pitanja pa da vam odgovorim u skladu sa iskustvom koje ovdje imamo, a to je da zaista dosta usmerenih studenata i dosta zanimljivih ličnih priča koje smo, da kažem, ispratili vas na neko usavršavanje i na dodatno usmerenje.